I thought it was a fantastic card. Great fights. I thought the main event was an anticlimax. Unfortunately, become very one-sided. Well, it was one-sided from the start, and Derek obviously didn't get into it, and it was a great shame for him and for the fans. But Billy Joe and Christopher Eubank Jr. was a cracking fight, one of the best fights I've seen for a long while. Had everything going for it, and it looks like it's going to be one of those where we're going to be, down the road. There's going to be rematches, and who knows where we go from there. But certainly, the rivalry is there. They're both the same age. Bill will now move on and fight the winner of Kobrov and Andy Lee next year, and hopefully we can do that on the 28th of February at the O2 Arena in London. That's what we're looking to do, but obviously it depends who wins the fight. Hopefully if it's Andy Lee, that'll make it more of a domestic affair. Most of the guys who fought tonight, and there were some cracking fights tonight. I thought, with Frankie Gavin, Bradley Skeet was a real technical fight. I thought Frank did enough to win. He'll be out on that day, as will Bradley. Not fighting each other, but they'll be on the card. Young Mitchell Smith, I think, he busted his left hand up badly in the first round of his fight. I think he's going to be something special. He's a good little fighter. He'll be on the card, as well as a lot of the other fellas who fought. And Tyson Fury will also fight on the 28th of February. So we'll be looking to putting together another big show. Hopefully, though, there'll be a curfew and we'll be out there by midnight. When Jimmy, and especially Bill and I, talked about this fight, we talked about the timing of it, and I thought the timing was the time to make the fight, get it done now, and I think that proved to be one of the factors in the fight. I think Bill's experience, both as a high, the world's best amateur level, and certainly as a pro, I thought was the difference in the fight. I thought he won the first 4 or 5 rounds. Chris got in again. There was a couple of rounds that were split. They each won a round and whatever. And I thought that Christopher Jr. come on strong in the last rounds, for the simple reason being, like Bill, he's got a big heart, and he knew he had to try and stop Bill to win the fight. But it was it's not a disgrace for him to lose to a good fighter, a quality fighter like Bill, and I'm sure he will come again in the future. So, some exciting fights to be made down the road with all these guys. But I thought Bill, really, really did a great job tonight, and I'm proud that he took our advice and took the fight and done the business like he said he would. Anyway, I'm sure you got some questions. So,
Billy, how good does it feel being so close to fulfilling your dream now?
Yeah, I mean, since I've been in boxing, that's all I wanted to be as world champion. Frank's delivered that now. We set back and see who wins out of Kobrov and Lee. But at the minute now, it's going to be a nice rest. Sit down with Jimmy and meet up with Frank. Probably after the Christmas or so, or just before, and we'll see our route plan where we're going to go.
Is that the furthest you've had to dig? Because you pushed very hard.
Very extremely hard. But listen, when people, it looks a lot different in there. When people look at me fight and they see me in there and they think, oh yeah, I could come on here and I really could push. I know his weaknesses. It's a lot different when you're in the ring with me. It's a lot different. People will tell you that. Chris will tell you that tonight. To be honest with you, I got a bit complacent with him because for the first, from 1 to 6, it was easy. The second round I wobbled him. I caught him with a good shot. I caught him with a right hook. I caught him with, and I see his legs dip, and I got a little bit complacent. But fair play to him. He come on the 7th, the 8th. I think maybe the 9th and the 10th was ease. The 11th you could have give either way, and the 12th, I made him miss, and I just dug that last bell.
Who would you fancy out of the two lads who are fighting for the world title? Who do you think's going to win? Who would you rather? Have you got a preference, Bill?
Listen, boxing's boxing. Good luck to whoever wins out of both of them. It's not who I want to win. It's who deserves to win. Who trains the hardest and who deserves it. But you got to go with Kobrov. But I won't be surprised if Lee takes him.
Why is that?
We've got a big punch. If he catches you, he'll take you
I
out.
think that, and he's got very good range, and we haven't seen the best. It hasn't come through how he was as amateur Korobov. I think that, living in Russia, gone to America, a few quid, bit of fame, gone a little bit to him, and maybe he's took his eye off the ball a little bit. But it's for a world title, so they'll both be G'd up for it.
Yeah.
Billy, what was behind wearing those gloves? They're winning gloves, aren't they?
Winning gloves, yeah.
They're a bit softer. Was there any strategy behind that?
No, I think that, we all know that me and him don't like each other, and I just wanted to find the best gloves for the most pain, to be honest. So I didn't care about my hands. I thought, right, let's just do it. And I felt them, and I've seen them before, tried them on, they were soft, and I thought, yeah, they do. So that's the reason why. And I spar and winning anyway.
Right.
But I think I'll be using them from now on, I think.
Well, they're winning gloves.
That's it. I'm the winner, aren't I?
What do you respect in that?
Listen, deep down, I respect him anyway as a fighter. Like I say, to get in that ring, and you got to have. I don't care who you are and who you don't. You got a bottle to get in there. Put yourself through agony for 7-8 weeks, whatever. Go away and train. So I respect him. Yeah. I still think he's a cunt. But what can you do? Well, that's it. I've beat him, and listen. He said he was prepared to die in the ring to defend his own. Well, I've just took it, and there's nothing you can do about it. But listen, please, got to be world champion. I wouldn't say no to a rematch. That's for definite.
Did you exchange any words with him?
Listen, he was fair. He said, listen, the better man won. He said it was a split decision. Even he said it was a fair decision. There was no arguments or no disappointments from his side. They knew. It was close. It was very close. He pushed me, but I won the fight. I felt I won it when I was in there as well.
You seem to be chatting to you a lot
During the
fight, Billy. Can you remember what you were saying?
No, he was just saying. You said if you don't stop me in 4 rounds now, that you've got to give up boxing. But my jab was working perfectly, and I thought I'm not going to try for anything. But then I sort of got involved a little bit. I was sticking to me boxing. Then the next thing I knew, I was probably listening to him talking. And I suppose it was a game plan now. His dad probably told him. But yeah, I got in a little bit of a mix with him, and the next thing I know, I'm slugging it inside. And what else I thought is his dad mentioning the referee. His dad saying about the ref that watch bit over Billy Joe tonight because he's going to be in trouble. His dad, he said it in 2 or 3 interviews, and I felt the ref tonight. Not saying he did a bad job, but he could have done a little bit better job for me, I think.
Do you think it's unfinished business, Billy? Do you think you'll meet him again a year or so down
Well,
the
look,
line? 2 years?
now this was a big fight. I've got big things ahead of me. He's at the back now. He's forgot about. Same as I beat Nick Blackwell, Ryder, and all that. I put the pressure on myself. People saying, "Why are you saying if he beats you, you're going to retire?" Because if he beats me, am I going to be world champion? Yeah, he's good, but fighters like him shouldn't be beating me.
Frank, what's a fight like that do for Bill's profile? Because obviously he's been around for a long time.
I thought one thing which was really, I'm not say surprising, but one thing that I thought was really encouraging is the way the crowd took to Bill when he came in the ring. The whole venue was cheering him, and I was quite surprised at that. Not nothing against him. I thought, normally you got your fans cheering and the other guys but it weren't like that at all. They got behind Bill completely. So I think, as far as his profile is concerned, it's and we talked about it as well before the fight. I said, Bill said, do I need to fight him? What does it do by fighting him? He's never fought at his level and so forth. And as I said to Bill, I said, believe it or not, because of the name and only because of the name, it'll raise your profile, and that's exactly what's happened now.
Yeah.
And it has raised his profile.
Were you feeling a little bit twitchy, Bill, when they said it was a split decision? Or?
I knew in there. I felt my own self. I thought when they said it was close, like when the fight finished, Jimmy said in the corner, out of the 6th round, I let him in on the 7th, and Jimmy told me, he said, "Listen, you got to dig now because you're letting him back in." Then I was mixing it a little bit, and I knew. I thought I've lost that round as well. I knew. Then the 9th round come, and I thought, right, get me jag going a little bit. But then it come to, the more ego set in then, and I thought, right, I'm going to be the stronger man, and I think that's a big learning point for me. I don't need to do that. I should have got back, bright me jab. But yeah, getting back to your question, I think that. What was your question again?
Were you getting a bit twitchy when they said it was a
No,
split decision?
split decision. I looked at Frank's face and I knew. Well, yeah, I got it.
He said to me, "Have I got this or not?" And I said to him, I'm not going to tell you. I said, you can suffer like I have the last 2 rounds.
Bill, do you anticipate Chris Eubank Jr. going on to become a kind of world-class fighter and challenge for world honours?
Well, he's been beat, isn't he? So he's obviously doing something wrong. To be honest with you, a good technical boxer would find him all day long. You know, and at world level, the technical boxers. I think that if you look at his struggle from 1 to 6 just with the jab, my left hand wasn't even into play tonight for some reason.
And if you were playing your left hand, it would make a lot of difference.
Yeah, and it was. I think it was the left hand. If you look in round 2, you can look back. It wobbled him. I knew I hurt him because I see it in his eyes well, and I see his legs dip, and he went for a walk, and I let him off the hook a little bit because I felt it was easy. I thought this is getting a bit easy, but then I let him back in, and obviously I made it a little bit hard for myself.
In terms of preparation for a world title fight, is that exactly what you needed?
I think to be in that sort of fight where you're winning, then it's nip and tuck, then you've got to dig.
Yeah.
You know, some fighters are just quit. But like I've always said it, there's no quit in me. I'll always find a way, somehow I'll always find a way to win. And I think that is the perfect preparation to learn from. You know, because I now need to know that I can outbox someone for 6, 7 rounds, but I can't get complacent. I've got to keep it up for 12 rounds. It's no good doing it for 6, 7 because, you know, one punch can change anything.
Did his dad say anything to you after the fight, Bill?
His dad said, thanks for giving me son a beating. No, listen, his dad shook me hand afterwards. But he knew he didn't argue with the decision. You know, if it was a robbery, then I first say, well, I thought I was lucky. But it was a close fight. But I think
I don't know how the judge gave it, to him the way he scored it. 3 points. I mean, I don't know what that was all about.
It was a close fight, but
Yeah,
also inside you couldn't really see. He was a stronger fighter inside, Chris was tonight, and I think inside the work when we was working away, you know, every time I seemed to get my distance and I wanted to go inside, we would get pulled apart and sent away. But every time Chris was inside working, it was sort of left to carry on. You know, and he did hold me a couple of times and rabbit a punch back of the head a couple of times. He got 2 warnings for it. Then the third one, I thought a point should have been took off, but he didn't get a point.
I think as well, you know, you watch it back, you see a lot of his punches were in the air, like a lot of air punches missing, you know, throwing stuff from down here, and you know, quite crazy. He needs, you know, he's got a good trainer, and they need some good strategy. That's what they need.
He ain't got a trainer, Frank. You don't need a trainer.
Well,
he needs one now.
What he needs the guy in the corner. He needs his trainer to be in the corner looking at him like Jim does. That's what I would do. I would insist on.
And I'll also say, like tonight as well, that Jimmy played a big part in it because without his experience in the corner, some of them would probably say, yeah, you're doing all right. You know, go and carry on. And then you think, oh, well, I'm doing all right, and not switch on as much. But when Jimmy says, listen, you're letting him back in it, you need to get around, just go out there and nick around or get around, and it spurred me up. Because when he says that, I knew. And that's the difference of having an experienced man in the corner and, you know...
And not having anyone.
Not exactly.
It's a question for Jimmy, actually. Jimmy, do you think Billy's ready for... you'll know all about Andy Lee and Cobra.
Yeah,
he's ready for that
I do now, yeah. He's learned from this fight. I mean, I know Billy Joe and box better than he did tonight, and he still won again. He did, as he said, what he said, he didn't use his left cross enough. No. Me and Frank said that right away afterwards. Didn't use his left cross, his left uppercut, but it's all right saying it, you know, when someone's coming here, slinging it here, slinging it there. And that other kid is a nice boy, and he well done to him tonight, he done well, and but he's got a lot to learn, because a big puncher, a big puncher, he'd be in trouble if he don't tuck up a little bit.
I'm sorry, Jim.
Sorry,
despite all your accusations with this fight, are you prepared to promote Eubank again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I would. You know, I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it, 'cause it's how it is. I'm in the Billy Joe Saunders business, and that's where I'm at. And we've been together from the start, and we've, you know, it's been a good team, and we've done everything as a team. And he's gone in the ring and done the business like he should done. He's won all the fights. He's British, European, Commonwealth champion. He's moved his profile on a bit now. I'd say quite a bit. And yeah, if Eubanks wants to fight on the card on the 28th, I've got no problem with that. You know, we want Bill to be fighting for the world title, and as Bill said, if he wants to make that one of the, and he wins it, he wants to make it one of the defences down the line, it'd be a great defence for him. Because, as much as, I think people should think about this, as much as, Chris Eubanks has got a lot to learn, so's he.
We're the same age.
They are the same, I was just about to say, they're the same age, and he's had 2 fights more than Chris Eubanks Jr.
If you look at all the world champions now, they're all 30, 31, 32 some, and they're in the prime. I'm 25, just turned. I'm not 26 till August, so I've got time on my side to do what manoeuvre whenever we think or comfortable where we want to move around. But at least I know now I can beat Golovkin.
Jim, will you be giving Billy much time off over Christmas, or is it working?
Yeah, he
not like last Christmas.
No, yeah, you're right as well.
He deserves a good rest. He's worked hard at the training camp we had out in Marbella. It was a good team. Me, Billy, Joe, myself, my son Mark. Strength and conditioning. We had a good team now. It's very professional.
And that's the first time he's done it like that, isn't it?
Yeah, first time he's been away,
thing,
and it was hard work, but it's paid off.
I knew coming into this fight that there's one thing I couldn't afford to do, was not do the weight properly and not be fit. Just scrape for. I knew I couldn't afford to do that, and I went away proper. Like dietitian and Jimmy and Mark was on me all the time, and eating clean food, and I think that played a big part tonight. Camp really helped me, and there's a lot to thank to MGM Gym out there for helping it.
Will you be going back out there?
I will be going back out there again. Love to if they have me. Love to.
Have you any plans, Billy, to go out and watch the Eco last fight?
No, to be honest with you, it was a fault, but I've been away a long time now. I'd rather just have me rest what I'm going to have a rest, then back into me training. So, listen, I ain't got to worry about them throughout the new year. I saw me and Frank will be watching them, so I'll watch the fight. But be at home.
You'll be like junk food. How are you going to celebrate this victory?
Well, listen, it's done, isn't it? It's done. I said what I said I was going to do. What I said, I didn't say I was going to go in there, I was going to knock him out. I just said I was going to go in there, I was going to beat him. If I didn't beat him, I was going to retire, and if I didn't beat him, I would have retired.
Yeah, but how do you celebrate this time?
How I celebrate? I'm going to get on the site. I'm going to get on the site and throw a big party with the caravans on the site.
He's going to the salad bar.
That's where I'm going. Yeah. Frank's going to buy a big turkey this year as well for a bonus. And talking about bonuses,
I know.
Mr. Warren, he owes me a bonus as well.
Yeah.
He doubled it at one stage as well, didn't you, Frank? Don't forget that.
Yeah. For the aggravation I was getting, I said, win this fight.
Did the bet ever come to fruition?
Well, listen, if he wants to do it, well, we said at a press conference, that's who we want to go to. Nemesis' next step. If he wants to give his £100 away, so Frank, put it in that account for him.
You wanted to shut him up in this fight, didn't you? So do you think this will actually shut him up?
Well, listen, this is the sort of fight, all grudge matches are big fights. You see the way people turned out tonight for this fight. I think that if this fight was, looking in it, I don't know if it was exciting or not, because I was in it. I don't know if it was exciting, but even if it was a boring fight, it'd still be interesting. And whoever loses, they've got to shut up over all the talking up. And he's lost, so he has to shut his mouth, get back of the queue now, and fight whoever he wants. But that's mine now, well, my dad, so that's done.
Did the support from the crowd spur you on to?
Always, listen, when you're digging deep and you can hear them, Brian, you and my mates and whatever getting on, it do help you. And and it helped tonight. It always helps to have home advantage. And I feel tonight that it was home advantage for me, because like Frank said, when I walked in there, this has never happened to me before. So all I could see was every white camera on me, and the phones, and 20,000 people, and that's a big crowd, big crowd. And for Chris as well, because he's only before he was with Frank, or he was fighting at Blue Water. So it's a big step up for him as well, so fair play to him as well. So he handled it, I handled it, but the better man won on the night.